I don't know if it was dyslexia or ADHD or just me being a problem child, but I sat in the back of the classroom, didn't know what any of the teachers were talking about. I was bottom of the class at everything, and I was made to suffer. And he said that when he was a kid, and look at him now.
Yeah, exactly. And that, do you know what? And that's what makes me have the love for Anthony Hopkins' talent.
Yeah, definitely. Very humble as well.
Yeah, do you know? And I think that's very. I think that's a very important way to be in this industry
Hmm.
because like you could easily be in this industry and you can lose yourself maybe, or well, it's not a bad thing. I suppose people deal with things differently, and it's up to them how they deal with it. But I think, you know, like you got to remain humble because you got close friends around you and everyone like that. That's got to keep you grounded and
Yeah,
to remind you where you come from.
yeah.
That you're just as equal as everyone else.
Hmm.
Just because you got publicity, it don't make you important. It doesn't give you any kind of formality of importance. Just because you're successful in your career, it just means that you're doing well, and people will be inspired by that. And you got, I think, the more humble you remain with that,
Yeah.
I think, the more you focus on developing and progressing more.
Hmm. I've got to
Because
say, yeah, I totally agree. I've had, you know how many people I've spoken to on this thing, um, and I've got to say, everyone's got the same mindset. Everyone is so genuine, so nice. There's only
yeah,
two times they've not been on my show because they turned me down. But the way they did it was, one of them. Well, one, not going to mention names because I don't want to get sued.
yeah, yeah,
But,
sure.
I'll tell you after. One of them had agreed to it, gone through publicists and everything, and it had agreed to it. Sat on Skype like we are now. Messaged several times saying I'm ready. 3, 4 phone calls, and he was online, just completely ignored it. Never didn't get an apology afterwards. Then I just got a message
Oh,
from the publicist the next day saying, "Sorry, we can't do it anymore." And it's because I think in the 3, 4 days that we've gone, his popularity had shot up, and all of a sudden,
the thing is,
and
you can't let that get to you. Like, at the end of the day, and this is the thing. Like, I'm very supportive of even if I'm doing massive feature films in the
hmm,
future or whatever. I'm always going to have that support for someone that has a podcast or someone that is wanting that lift up. Because
yeah,
at the end of the day, it's like if you only like obviously there is value and people sit there and go, yeah, but you have to go with quality and things like that. Yeah, it's true. You do have to remain at a certain quality on a certain level, but someone that's trying to make a podcast, that's working hard to just make something of themselves and going on that podcast and just giving that person 30 minutes, 40 minutes or an hour of your time just to
hmm,
talk. It's also good for the fans or supporters to hear that engagement and hear them talking live and hearing them
yeah.
out.
That's what a
Um,
lot of people. A lot of people do love that. They said, I mean, they say, that I'm not blowing my own trumpet. This isn't me, singing at my show or anything. But the feedback I get is like it always sounds like you're just a couple of mates catching up in a pub,
that's it, and that's
and
how it should be.
that's what
That's
people
how
love
it should
it.
be,
Yeah.
and it should remain at that level because your help can help that person.
Hmm.
Like because this is the thing that there's a famous quote that I absolutely love. If you're absent during my struggles, don't expect to be present during my success. And I think that was by Will Smith.
Yeah.
On from what I've seen, but
Hmm.
like it's such a true thing because you can be like, all right, say for example now your exposure in podcasting might not be as big,
Yeah.
but then if you blew up and you become massive, hold on, everyone wants to be your friend, and it
Hmm.
shouldn't be like that. You should be like, no, you should be your friend at the start. You should
Yeah.
jump on that boat and go, you know what, you need me on your podcast, fine, I'll do it. I'll help you out. Let's go. Let's ride this boat, and hopefully it does you some favors. And some fans might listen to this, or some supporters might listen to this and go, you know what, I really enjoyed that little talk,
Hmm.
and that gives you that maybe a little bit more respect for people to talk about you even more
Yeah.
in PR situation.
Hmm.
Um, the moment you kind of think that you're better than something is the moment you lose your humbleness and you lose that thing where all right, yeah, you got to hold a value and you got to hold a quality, but you don't have to how can I put this in a nice way without sounding like a douche, but it doesn't mean that you can't help other people. There's
Yeah. I know
there's
what you mean.
a and I notice a lot in the industry where you get to a certain level and people are like they don't really care. Here's a good quote. from what I've seen recently. Successful people want to help other people rise, and they want to give them opportunity. Unsuccessful people say, "What is in it for me?"
Yeah.
So that's the best way that I can put it. You know, like people get to a certain level and they go, "What's in it for me? Is this going to benefit me? No, I'm not interested." You know, but as soon as you ask somebody, they go, "Oh, now we could be friends." And I don't think it should be like that. I think you should just be humble at the start and go, "You know what? Show love to everyone." And that's it. Yeah, I'm blabbering on now. I know.
Oh, sorry. No, it's fine. Yeah, you're right. Because I say that was one. The other example was didn't even get to the stage of arranging something because originally said yes, okay, and then on a public tweet, I turned around and said we talked about it before, and the tweet back was yeah, and I've got nothing more to say. And someone replied to that and said, "Come on, give the guy a chance." And his reply was, I've narrowed it down to a he. His reply was, oh God, what was it? He goes, I think everything I should say should be said in my acting. And he left it at that, and the backlash he got from people was just like, you complete twat.
You know, the thing is, this I had this conversation with someone quite recently, and because I am quite known as in the industry as a social media, I suppose like guru or whatever you want to call it, or social media. Like people say that I'm really active on social media, and I am.
Yeah.
I hate social media personally, because I think it's such a bad miscommunication.
Oh God, yes.
But at the same time, it's something that we use in 2016, and as an artist or an actor, you need to use it. And this is not 1970. This is not 1960. This is not 1950, where you know the only way that fans or supporters could see your work or hear about you is seeing you on TV, on the news, or a TV show or a magazine.
Yeah.
This is 2016, and everyone, all of your fans can go on your social media and they can see what you are up to every single second of the day, or every single minute of the day, or day by day, or however you post. And they can see your attitude. And it could be one certain thing that you post where they don't like it and they go, I don't want to support you anymore. And I've had it before sometimes where I've probably posted something and someone's gone, oh, I don't like him anymore, and they've judged me for it. But I'm not gonna judge them for judging me. I'll say, okay, cool, sorry that you're upset or whatever. But you know, everyone has their own opinions and their freedom of speech. But like, you know, fans can watch you every single day now. People can watch you and see your attitude. This is 2016. So as soon as you post something on social media or whatever kind of fan base, people can watch it and people want to see what you're doing. You know, your fans want to see what you're up to. They want to feel like they're involved in your career.
Yeah.
This is not 2070 where you're only going to be seeing magazines and things like that, because there is people that love the engagement. That's what the whole kind of, it seems like the world is turning to with fan bases and supporters. People want to feel involved. People want to feel engaged and interact with you. And like you said, as soon as you post something up like that, you know, they're going to go, wow, like, are you really like that? Wow, cool.
Well, yeah, because that's what I mean. You know, in fairness, I just looked at that and I thought, whoa, right, okay then. I've respected you for, I'll tell you after. I said, I've respected you for many, many years, but that's just completely thrown me. Because you obviously just really want to stand off.
Yeah, it's
probably got, you know.
This is what I say to people, right? This is one of my theories. This is one of my love for. This is why I love my supporters. And I had a really really interesting conversation over a beer with a good friend of mine. Now what people forget to value is value time. You know, if someone, you could have this guy called Chris, for example. We could use a different name, John.
Right.
We have this guy called John who has 2 kids. He has a wife, and he works at a warehouse, for example. In that warehouse, he makes £7.50 an hour. Okay, so he's now making £7.50 an hour. He's got a TV that he's bought, was probably about 300 quid, 400 quid, however much he spent. That's probably about a week's wage that he's spent on that TV. He's then worked an extra hour to go on his break. He sees your film or your DVD. He goes out and buys that DVD, and he comes back to his house, puts that in his TV and his DVD, what he spent probably another £200 on. What is, you know, that's nearly 2 weeks of work and an hour wage. Just to watch your film, to turn around and go to you, hey dude, I really love your work, you're awesome. That is what you got to value, is someone's time, what they've paid into, what they've invested into to watch your work and support your work and show you love. So for that kind of investment is time, and that is someone's valuable life and time that they've spent to just watch you. No, I'm not saying for the DVD or the TV, but just to watch you. They've spent an hour of their life committed to work to watch you on a screen.
Yeah.
It's a big deal. Like, to me, that's a big deal. If someone's done that, I'm like, wow, dude, you spent an hour of your time to watch my DVD, to watch me in a film, and plus show me love, and plus to work. Like, I'm gonna give you a hug. That's how I see it. I'm gonna give you love. I'm gonna show you love. Yeah, and that's important.
It's very important. I mean, and there are people out there, like I say, some of the big stars. I mean, I'll give you my little. This is me plugging myself now, because obviously with me writing to publicists, I got a lovely one back from Stallone's publicist. Now, I didn't expect anything because I'm writing to like the likes of him and all the big ones like that, and if anything, they've got no time at all because of what they're doing. But his publicist wrote back, and she was the loveliest person, saying she absolutely adores my enthusiasm. Unfortunately, he's on vacation at the moment and he's not promoting. But when he does promote, she goes, I'm sure you can understand there's thousands of requests like this coming through.
She goes,
however, she goes,
that's all it takes.
But she goes,
that form of saying no, that's all it takes.
Yeah, but it wasn't really a no, because she turned around, she goes, we love your enthusiasm. She goes, if he does start promoting again later in the year, I'll put you on the list. And I said, oh, brilliant, thank you so much for the response. And she goes, talk to you soon, with a winky face.
Oh,
you know what I mean? That's.
Did you get happy when I gave you a winky face?
No, not the same.
Brilliant.
But yeah, that was a response from like Sylvester Stallone's camp, and that to me, I don't care if he comes on or not. He probably won't, because it's Sylvester Stallone.
It made you feel appreciated.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's what it is: valuing someone's time and appreciating their time, and that's a big thing these days, because. Like time is it's important.
It is. And talking about time being important, I know you've got to get on. So I'm going to carry.
Mate, no, take your time. Seriously, I think the food closes at 10, so
you're all right for a bit then.
Yeah,
cool. I've got another question from Aqua Solutions, which I'll put together in after we've talked about the other bits, because I know you've recently been on the Knights of the Damned has just finished filming. Yeah. So can you tell us about that? I mean, Ben, I've spoke to Ben, is coming live soon. I've still got to finish editing that. He said, obviously, your character, you mentioned a little bit about your character. So what can you tell me about your character in Knights of the Damned?
Ben's really cool. To be honest, I don't know much about my character yet. Obviously, I've played the character already in Knights of the Damned, and do you know what? Ben's a really nice guy. We've got quite a lot in common, and we get on really well. And we've been chatting a lot lately. And his enthusiasm is really, really cool. And I love that with a director. When they're excited, it makes me excited. When they've got passion and they got that push, it makes me want to push. And I really love that that kind of thing, because you kind of want to. You see the strengths together, what you want to kind of create. But Ben contacted me. He's like, Mark, I've got this character called Bryce. He's like, I really want you to play it. Are you up for it? I said, yeah, send me a script across and tell me a bit more about the character and the project itself. And when I looked into it, I saw medieval, I saw Vikings, mermaids, and all this kind of. I went, yeah. I was like, yeah, I'm in. Here we go. This is what I've been growing my hair for. Yeah. And and then I found out we're filming 2 days or 3 days later. I was like, oh god, okay, yep, send me the script. And the character's basically this village kind of the guy that's basically in this village, and he's very protective of his village, obviously. Yeah. And these knights have come in with a few, with obviously the other tribe and things like this, and I'm a bit intimidated. Like, this is my town, this is my home. What, like, a bit like you going to, like me going to Wales, you walk in the bar and everyone's head turns, like, this is not that's what it's pretty much like in a Viking film. But so my character Bryce basically kind of tells them the story about this fury that's going around, and like, my character's a bit drunk, so he's a bit aggressive, and he's basically showing that he's not scared of these guys. Yeah. Well, I'll carry like swords and thing, and I'm not exactly a big guy either. But I'm like, yeah, I'll still knock you out kind of attitude. And And I kind of I spoke to Ben, and Ben was like, Mark, look, we're looking to develop your character. We're looking to put you in a sequel.